joining. Trying to get back to it. So just some ground rules. If you can mute, then please mute so that everybody can hear when each person is talking and when we answer the questions.
Muted to go last.
So if everybody, okay, good, yay. Okay, welcome to the Student Town Hall meeting. Yes, thank you in advance for muting yourself. I am Christina Broughton. I am the social media coordinator at Muskegon Community College. So I run all of our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even our new TikTok channel. So I'm going to be moderating this meeting, just kind of driving the conversation, making sure that it's flowing, and directing your questions to the appropriate people to answer those questions for you. So the way that this is going to work is, please, if you have any questions at any time during this meeting, to type them up in the chat box, and then I will direct your question to the right person to answer. So, sound good? Yes. Okay. So, like I said, my name is Christina Broughton. I'm going to be running the show here, but also I have Rachel Stewart, if she wants to introduce herself, who's going to be helping me out today.
Hi, everybody. My name's Rachel. I work in alumni relations, and many of you are soon going to be members of this great organization. So here to help. I'll be helping Christina watch the chat, and we're going to do our best to make sure we get all your questions answered.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to hand it over to our president, Dr. Nesberry, to kind of give some updates in terms of how MCC is supporting all of our students right now during this current crisis we're living in.
Well, good afternoon, folks. I was given 2 to 3 minutes, and I was told that that was strict. So I'm going to run through a series of things that are going on campus that we're attempting to do for our students and our faculty and our staff. But first of all, let me say, stay well and stay safe. I know you've heard that a million times, but keep in mind, if you're a student, whether you're 8 years old or 40 years old, there are people in your environment who may be system compromised at some level. There may be some issue with them. So even if you're healthy and you will remain healthy, there are people around you who may not. So please keep that in mind. So what we're doing for specifically students, first, the federal government is sending information to us about how we may spend some dollars that you may have heard about. It's called the stimulus package number 3, or specifically the CARES Act. There's $1.2 million coming to the college in that regard, and those dollars are going directly to students, not to me, not to administrators, not to faculty, but to you, the students. So as we get additional guidance from the federal government, U.S. Department of Ed, we'll begin sending those dollars directly to you. And this is to help you as you're having issues with respect to, it could be your job is on furlough, it could be anything. You have issues with the coronavirus. So those dollars will be coming soon. Now also, something that we've been doing as an institution is we've been thinking through how to share information with our community and what information we use and where we gather it from. So we, like many other colleges, have been getting information from the CDC, Center for Disease Control, National Department of Health, Institutes of Health, I should say, as well as some very well-respected individuals who either run or are medical directors for health systems around the nation. We recently had Dr. Rosalie Tocco Bradley. She is the clinical director for Trinity Health System, Michigan region. What that means is there are 23,000 healthcare professionals who report to her as medical director. And she is a data analytics person, multiple degrees from Harvard, U of M, and she's considered to be one of the top data analysts when it comes to these issues in the country. And the coronavirus, COVID-19, is her specific area. We had her speak to our in-campus community a couple of weeks ago. Now, something else that we've been doing on campus is modifying our technology to make sure that you are able to access the internet a little bit more effectively on campus, and something that you may not know about. And this is in conversation right now, in discussion, I should say, with regional leaders. Some of the stimulus dollars, some of those dollars that you've heard about, that $3 to $4 trillion coming to us to help us do battle with this issue, is coming to help us do battle with the issues that we face in our Wi-Fi systems around the country. We have people who live in the city, who live outside of the city, and if I was in a meeting earlier today, a couple of meetings where people were having a hard time accessing the internet. I know a lot of you do too. So as that process moves forward, and that's a conversation with myself, governmental leaders, other college leaders, some major business leaders about seeking some of those dollars to help us upgrade our Wi-Fi in this region, so we don't face some of the issues that we've dealt with over time. Final thing I'll share is something that would help you as students and would help us all in terms of moving forward. Is we're looking to the point in time where we can reopen campus. And that may be later this summer. We have some dates out there, but we're still waiting to see what happens in terms of the state of Michigan giving us the go-ahead to move forward in the processes that they've put in place, the federal government as well, and any of the healthcare professionals and data analytics people who we've had conversations with to move us forward. Now, as that process moves forward, we'll share that with you. We've had conversations around campus about how that works. And in fact, along the lines of what are you doing and when will we know it? We've been preparing this information about how we reopen campus for, I'd say, roughly a month. We have faculty, staff, external individuals working with us on this process. And we've actually shared our model with other colleges around the state. So if it doesn't seem as though progress is being made, it is being made. We've shared information with other community colleges, and they're using our model as their model in terms of how they reopen. So why don't I leave that there? I know I've probably gone about 5 minutes, but I'm sorry about that, and I'll turn it back over to Christine and Rachel.
Thank you, Dr. Nesberry. So he went over quite a few different categories that we'll also touch base on throughout the rest of the meeting. So we have a couple questions in chat, and one of them is about early college. Val, would you like to talk about early college and kind of the process that students are needing to go through right now?
Absolutely. So currently we have been receiving applications in, and pieces of applications have been coming in. So what I would suggest, I see Devin had some questions, and we are currently scheduling interviews. So it would be helpful to know like what school he is from, and also making sure that he's eligible and has applied.
Wonderful. Val, can you put your contact information in the chat box so early college students can contact you?
Yes, I can for early college Muskegon. I'm not sure what school he's from, so it could possibly be one of our other early college programs. But I'll put my information in, and then I'll help him get connected.
Wonderful.
Christina, as we keep going, as I'm watching the chat, if we can't get verbally to everybody's questions right away, I will try to throw in email addresses and comment back directly to each student so they at least have contact information. But it seems like we're getting a lot of questions about testing as well, the testing center right now.
Yeah, so somebody want to pick up the answer to kind of the plans with testing right now. There's different plans for the summer semester and the fall semester. So I don't know if Jean wants to pick up on that, or who's from the testing center.
Sure, I can answer that question. So right now, placement testing for summer semester has been waived. And so any students trying to register for summer classes, they do not have to take the placement test. We're in the process of working on self-placement for fall, but we haven't reached that yet. So students are required to do placement testing via Zoom. But we can't, we're having problems getting students, enough students to have the test completed. So we're working, like I said, doing the self-placement, and we should have some additional information, because we're also using multiple measures like SAT scores and high school GPAs. So we know that it's hard to get everybody tested at this time, so we are looking at some alternatives.
Wonderful. Jean, while you're still on, or maybe Jody or Bruce can answer this question as well, but when will seniors be hearing about the Muskegon Promise Awards? And can you talk about the due dates for returning students versus new incoming students with the Muskegon Promise?
Yeah, this is Jody. The seniors for 2020 should be receiving something via U.S. mail very soon. This is an update from Megan this morning. They were hoping to get the letters out this week, May 11th. I believe they started going out today, possibly tomorrow. So you should be getting your letter soon. For those seniors, your acceptance date is July 1st. It's not 12:01 on July 2nd. It has to be received electronically on July 1st. On July 2nd is obviously too late. Now, big change for returning students. Your deadline is now May 31st. So check your email and your Remind accounts for the link to accept your award. So that is big. Returning students' deadline is May 31st. The graduating seniors this year should hear this week of their eligibility.
Wonderful. Jody, can you explain how students accept the promise?
It is an online link that they receive directly from the Muskegon Promise. Newaygo Promise, their deadline is June 15th. Theirs is a little different. Theirs is also online. But that deadline is the same for new and returning. June 15th for Newaygo, and it's a link from their website. Newaygo's, I think, is on their website. And Muskegon, you receive an email with the link, or it's on your Remind account.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jody. So thank you for everybody who's sending in questions right now. We're getting quite a bit, so I'm just going to continue down the list. One of them is the main MCC phone number listed on the website being answered? The question is, I believe it's yes to that. I think Jean can probably speak to how we're handling phone calls at the moment.
With students calling in, is that the question?
I believe so. The main line.
The main line, we are directing everything either to a COVID phone number, which goes into an email account because we're not on campus, and so we're not able to answer our phone. So everything is being directed to an email. So all of our email accounts and admissions, registrar's office, financial aid, all of that, we're directing students to email us because we are unable to get it into our phones to get the voice mail messages.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jean. So I'm going to move on to our list, and I'm going to have Kelly Conrad talk about what are the plans for the summer semester and how we're going to roll out the summer semester. So go ahead, Kelly.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining us, and thanks for hanging with us as a college while we work through this together. Our summer semester starts Monday, so the 18th, and initially we are starting with classes that are only online, except for respiratory therapy, which I'm happy to say they have been allowed to start a little minimal face-to-face today. The governor carved out an exception for healthcare students that helped us get going with therapy. So as we move into summer and move from classes that are totally online, what we hope is that June 15th, we'll be able to start some of our face-to-face classes that really can't be done very well online. Things in our applied tech area like welding, electronics, automotive, and then several of our phys ed classes that would go to meet face-to-face, as well as a handful of math courses that just like to try face-to-face if it's if the governor okays that we offer face-to-face, and if we feel that it's going to be safe for students and faculty. So it's a slow, gradual rollout of doing some face-to-face meeting.
Wonderful. Do you want to talk about the extension centers as well, and kind of what we know right now with the extension centers?
For summer?
Yeah.
For all of it? Okay, so what we write, our extension centers where we have offices are in Newaygo at the NC Risa building, and the Ottawa Center, which is our center down south of Grand Haven. We also offer classes at Coopersville, in Holland, probably missing something. Oh, and downtown Stura Center, our downtown Stura Center. So some of those we don't have control over. The NC Risa building, we don't have control over. The Holland, and we wouldn't offer classes there in the summer anyway. But the other centers for summer, we are not planning any summer classes at those sites now, except for the Stura Technology Center downtown, which is where we offer our applied tech classes. We just, given this environment and the need to disinfect things and the need to just keep things clean and safe for people, we just felt it was more prudent to close the centers that we didn't need to have open for any business at all right now.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm just reading some of the questions that are coming in.
We are getting a lot about financial aid, and if students getting financial aid should have all their classes scheduled right now. One of our friends over there could maybe.
Jody or Bruce, you want to pick up on some of this?
Are we talking fall, right? Or are we talking this summer?
Summer.
Okay. Financial aid, typically you would be already registered for the summer semester. We are awarding them daily as new students register, or new returning students are registering for the summer semester. It's best if you, especially if you're registering today, to shoot us an email so we know to pick that one up, because it is not an automatic. But that is happening on a daily basis. And I don't remember the second part of that question. I apologize.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think
that a
covers.
student of financial aid contact information. Sorry, just you guys have so many questions. We're just trying to keep up.
We have
Rachel,
received a couple messages.
What
that
about late start classes? Do they have to be registered for those late start classes now to get financial aid for the summer? And how do students know that if that's still true?
Yes, you have to register now for those. They have to be registered for before our census date of the summer, even late start classes.
Okay.
Thanks,
How have students been told that? We've got some late start classes in our department. The instructor wasn't aware of that, and I'm worried that students are waiting to enroll closer to the start date and will be out of financial aid. So is there a way by which students have been notified of that caveat?
Bruce, can you pick up on that one? Is he there? That is the same goes for every semester, so I'm not 100% certain how, other than we lock in financial aid at the census date. So that, as far as summer goes, there's not anything really different as far as registering for a late start class, that it needs to be done prior to our census date.
Right. My concern is that this summer we have a lot more of those late start courses than typical. And so I'm just looking out for students.
Wonderful. So let's move on. We have a couple questions asking about what is the deadline for to register for summer classes. Jean, would you like to talk about that?
Actually, I'll let our registrar, Aaron Richmond, speak to that.
Yes, hello. So there is not a singular deadline to register for classes for any semester. You can register online in our student planning system all the way up until the start date of the class. If you want to register after that, then you would need special permission from the instructor, and our registration office would be able to register you. But I would encourage everyone to register as early as possible for a number of reasons. Most of all, classes do tend to fill up the closer we get to the start of the semester. So be sure to register as soon as possible, but you'll be able to register yourself all the way up until the start date for that particular class.
Wonderful. Aaron, while you're there, can you talk about the COVID-related tuition appeals and refunds?
Yes, for sure. So in mid-April this year, we implemented a special appeals process for students who had to withdraw from a winter class due to the COVID situation. These students may request a tuition credit so that they can retake the class for free within the next year. And this credit can be requested by submitting a COVID-19 tuition credit appeal form, which is a new form that we have posted on our website. The easiest place to find it would probably be our main COVID webpage, which is muskegoncc.edu/coronavirus under the student FAQ section. But at the top of that form, it has instructions on how and where and when to submit that form. And the deadline to do so is July 1st of this year. So we've already been reviewing these appeals and giving students credits to retake these classes for the upcoming semester. So if your semester was negatively impacted by the transition to online learning or the COVID-19 situation, we would definitely recommend submitting one of these appeals, and we'll be happy to review that.
Wonderful, thank you. So we have a question about the FAFSA event, the FAFSA Friday event. Stephanie, did you want to take that one?
So on May 29th, we're going to do a FAFSA event. And so we are going to help you complete your FAFSA basically. So if you have specific FAFSA questions, if you have documents that you need to have submitted, or you just need somebody to walk through you with the FAFSA, we'll be able to do that on the 29th. Information about that will be going out probably via social media, emails, text message. We'll start sending that out probably the end of this week or beginning of next week so that you can get on Zoom and be able to partake in that event.
Wonderful. Yep, we will definitely be getting that communication out on social media. So don't forget to follow us on those channels. Next up, I have questions about technology and internet accessibility and how MCC is helping to combat some of those issues for students. So I know Sally or Candy.
I'll take that one, Christina. Excuse me. I'm Bo Bewig, the Campus Chief Information Officer. We're looking at a number of issues related to how we can assist students in expanding their internet access, as well as looking at it from MCC outward. We have doubled up, or in the process of doubling up, our internet pipe, Internet at Campus, which should speed up your access to a number of applications and administrative and academic efforts, including lab access and so forth.
Wonderful, thank you, Bo. So we have a question about an incoming senior who wants to talk to somebody about what classes and major to take for the fall semester. So I'm going to refer you to the Counseling and Advising Department. Sylvia, do you want to talk about how students can contact you and make an appointment?
Sure. Hi. Right now, we're having students email online.advising@muskegoncc.edu, and I included that in the chat. If you're looking for summer classes, in the subject line, if you could just put summer classes, put it big and bold so we can see it. Include your first and last name, your student number, and if you don't know it, that's okay. Just put the month and the day of your birthday, and include a phone number, and one of our counselors will contact you. If you're interested in fall classes, do the same thing, but in the subject line, just put in fall classes. Thanks.
Wonderful, thank you. So we have a question about fall classes, and what do they have to do if the classes do go online? Kelly, do you want to kind of address what's going to be happening in the fall? I know right now it's kind of uncertain, but maybe this will give you a little bit more clarity.
Yeah, so I'm going to answer the question broadly, and if I don't get to the specific answer that it looks like Eleanor's asking for, please let us know in the chat and I can try and clarify. We are working towards opening for fall toward the end of August. That's our standard date. And we are following the governor's plan to reopen carefully. We have our own plans to reopening so that we can make sure that people are safe, employees and students alike. So to that end, we have classes that are already scheduled to be taught online. We have other classes where the instructors will shift them to online before the semester starts. And then for those that we hope to run on campus, we are working through pretty intricate plans of how to manage social distancing, how to manage personal protective equipment if people need to wear masks, how to clean rooms, how to ensure people are washing hands, and all of that stuff. So first goal is to keep people safe and healthy. So Eleanor's question, I think, was how will she know if her class is online? And I guess if you've registered, Eleanor, for a face-to-face class now and you're wondering if it's online, you can go to student planning and look for it and see if there's an online option. And then you can register for the online course and drop the face-to-face course that you're in. We don't want you to stay enrolled in two of the same classes. Get billed twice for that, even though we know that's not what you intend, but you want to take two of the same classes. So we would ask that you choose the online or the face-to-face. Now for students who are enrolled in face-to-face, and we start fall and we think that we're fine and then there might be another resurgence of the virus, we would do what we did this semester, only we'd probably do it much better because now we've had practice, and that would be to shift things to remote learning. So through Blackboard, which is our online course delivery system, through phone calls, emails, Zoom meetings. Our faculty have been very creative and amazing at continuing to teach classes as we've had to shelter in place. I hope that answered.
Very good. Okay, so I'm gonna send the conversation over to Ken Long, if he's on the call, to talk about the CARES Act. Students will be getting a notification soon about what we plan to do with those funds, but I'll let Ken talk a little bit more about it.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, sorry I don't have my video up, having some internet connectivity issues today. So yeah, the CARES Act, we actually have information now up on our website related to the CARES Act. And that information is on, if you go to muskegoncc.edu/coronavirus, at the top, there's a menu item called CARES Act. So it'd be /CARES-Act-FAQs. And that has information about the CARES Act. And I think Dr. Nesberry, alluded to this earlier, is we have received $1.1 million related to the CARES Act, specifically to be granted to students in the form of emergency grants. And so we are in the process of figuring out how to disperse those funds to students. The information on the website is overall just general information about the CARES Act, what you need to do to be eligible or how you are eligible. And then hopefully by Friday, as our plan is to have more information on that website about how you will receive funds or to apply for funds. We actually have a meeting this afternoon about that. And so I expect we will have information up on the website for students on Friday. Does that help, Christina? Do we need some more information?
Yeah, I think that's good.
All right.
Hey, Christina.
Yep.
Can we pivot possibly to Christine or John to talk about moving forward as students come onto campus? It is going to look a little differently, and there are some physical changes that they should be aware of as we return in the summer and fall.
Yeah, let's go over there. Does Christine?
I'm right here. Hi. Yes, campus will have a few changes. We're going to have a lot of signage up and some things that we won't be able to access, at least at first, as long as we're wearing masks and we're cleaning and sanitizing for the virus. Like drinking fountains will be wrapped up and we won't be allowed to use those, for example. We're also going to require social distancing, and if you're in an in-seat class and we're allowed to open up and do that, you'll probably have less students in that space and be sitting further apart from one another. So those are some of the changes that we would expect to be happening once we're back on campus.
I put a note out in the chat, and I hope that all of you had a chance to see that. This is John Selman. I'm the Provost and Executive Vice President at the college. And the most important thing that I can say to all of you is that we want to, whenever we return to campus, we want to make it safe for everyone. So we have to adhere to the safety protocols that will be established. We'll be able to share more in greater detail when we actually know when we're going to open physically. You know, we're adhering to the government and health official guidelines right now. And so, but whenever we return, we really want to make sure that all of us adhere to the safety protocols, and maintaining social distancing is our greatest tool. And so you'll see more about that. We will have another town hall meeting whenever we can open that will address these issues of returning to campus in greater details. So, so just be paying attention. We'll put stuff up on my MCC and other ways that we can communicate with you. But this will be another important town hall meeting, because I think that whenever we can open, and the closer to that we can actually have a town hall meeting, the better it will be for everybody to retain information. So again, we want everybody to stay safe and healthy. And so let's work together. I know when we work together, we can make a difference. And that's what it's all about. So thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. So like you said, we will have another student town hall meeting that we can give a little bit more clarity into some of your questions that we can't quite answer right now. Only time will tell. So look forward to that communication going out later on, and as we move through this interesting time together. I had an interesting question about the CARES Act, and are CARE funds only available to winter students, or can it also be applied to summer students? Ken, would you like to take that?
Yep, I actually just posted it in the chat. It will be available for summer students. And since it was easier than me reading a link, I posted the link to our website in the chat as well. So folks can click on that link to find the information that we have available currently. But yes, it would be available for the winter, summer, and we expect even funds available for the fall students.
Wonderful, thank you. I had a good question about the nursing program and clinicals. So what precautions will you be taking for nursing students who will have complete clinical hours and hospital agencies? I don't know if...
Yes, I'm here.
Wonderful, thank you.
This is Chris Patterson, the Director of Nursing and Health Programs. We are taking your safety very seriously. You will be undergoing the screening that all of the employees are undergoing when you get to the hospital. They will have a mask for you, and our students will not be taking care of COVID patients. In fact, the hospital has asked that we not take care of any patients with infectious diseases, because we need to be saving the PPE for the staff. But we are doing our utmost to make you guys safe. And honestly, I think you guys will follow the precautions better than some of the staff do. So I'm not at all worried about your risks. However, we are giving the students an opportunity to defer if they would prefer not to continue on. If they feel uncomfortable going to clinical, we're not going to force anybody to stay in the program to do those clinicals.
Christina, there was a question that got a little buried. I'm wondering if Kelly can answer from Lindsay. Kelly, can you just talk about the preparedness basically of our faculty in the event that we may start in person and need to switch online, what that scenario looks like?
The faculty have been, and even now between winter and summer when they just had this little quick 2-week break, many of them are going through a kind of a boot camp in-house training to build up their online teaching skills and sometimes to convert classes that we've never taught online to an online format. We have other trainings that are a little bit later this summer offered through an organization that's available to community colleges across the state. And then we'll be doing more in-house trainings too of people. So our goal is that in the fall, anyone who's teaching a class online or a class that might become online will have the skills and the abilities to do that.
Thanks, Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Christina, I got a question directly from one of our faculty too. Wondering if he's interested, and I am too actually, to hear from students. If we could quickly ask, like, how are you guys feeling? Do you feel more comfortable with an online setting right now? Are you guys ready to go back in person? This is a huge opportunity for us to learn from you. So if you want to just chat, I guess, of how you feel about that is critical information for us to know as well. Miss face-to-face. We miss face-to-face, seeing students and seeing our colleagues, Lindsay, too. Thanks for your comment.
Yeah, we'll give you time to answer that.
Yeah, if you want to just chime in whenever.
Yep, chime in whenever. So Jennifer Jones said in the chat, as faculty, we are here and prepared to teach both face-to-face and online. We are excited for you to be a part of MCC. So yes, face-to-face. Let's see, what other questions can we answer while you are giving us some feedback in terms of how you like your classes? We did get a question about campus tours, and obviously right now we cannot be on campus. So campus tours would probably continue once we are allowed to be on campus and use safe social distancing practices. But I wasn't, Stephanie, did you or anybody on your team want to talk about campus tours?
Yeah, so right now we're not doing campus tours, of course, because we're not on campus. But once we are allowed back on campus, we're going to do a virtual tour so that students can see some of our buildings. If you also check out our YouTube channel, some of the locations actually have tours on there as well that you can kind of see. So that's kind of where we are with tours right now. We will have some eventually, but we don't have one as of yet.
Wonderful. Okay, we're getting a lot of feedback about how you guys really do like face-to-face classes. We do as well, and not online, and it's a lot to get used to. So in what ways, so question for the students, in what ways and support systems could help you with those online classes for the meantime?
And maybe, Christina, while our students are giving us feedback about that, we could talk about CARES reporting, because that might tie in nicely for our students as they realize, like, learning themselves the needs that they need as we're online right now.
Absolutely. So Patty, did you want to talk about CARES reports and how students can use CARE reports?
So you've probably all received quite a few emails from us if you had already been attending for the winter semester. And for those of you that are new for summer, you, as soon as you have access to your email, you should be getting those, because we send out an email from the CARE team every Tuesday and Thursday right now. You can do what's called a student care report. If you need help with something, if you don't know who to contact, you can simply fill out the care report form, which is, you can find it on my MCC on your portal page, and there's a button there that says care report, and once you click on that, you're going to see 4 other forms, and I will in a few minutes, I'll put the link in the chat so that you can easily get to it. But there's a form that says care report, and you can fill that out. It asks you a few simple questions, and basically you just have to tell us why you're asking us a question or what the question is. And then we will get back to you and we'll make sure that we connect you with the right resources. Sometimes that's counseling, sometimes it's financial aid, sometimes it's questions about the CARES Act. So it's a variety of things that we can help with.
Wonderful. Patty, while you're on, can you talk about online tutoring as well?
Yes, definitely. I'm glad you brought that up. Our tutoring center is fully online now that we're all at home, and you can easily get to that if you are in a class, and in your Blackboard section for that class, there is a link there for NetTutor. And so you can go into online tutoring. You can schedule an appointment for tutoring, but you can also go into walk-in tutoring if you need to. So there's a few ways that you can get there. You can get there through your Blackboard course, but you can also get there through my MCC under the appointment scheduling. There's a button there for tutoring. If you make an appointment there, it will automatically be an online appointment where you can either talk to your tutor online, or I'm sorry, on the phone. You can also schedule a meeting with them through NetTutor, which is the service we use, and it's much very like Zoom. Also, if you were in a winter class and you had to end up taking an incomplete in that course, you won't be able to sign up for an appointment the normal way. So we want you to email the tutoring center so that they can get you set up with a tutor to help you with that incomplete. And I will also add that email into the chat, but it's very easy. It's tutoringcenter@muskegoncc.edu.
Wonderful. Thank you, Patty. Can you put that information, the contact information in the chat box for students to refer to?
Yes, I will.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm going to switch it over to Sylvia to talk about the mental health services through counseling that students can take advantage of.
Hi. The same thing, I just wanted to let you know that email online.advising, but at muskegoncc.edu, students will have the opportunity to meet with counselors if they're struggling with mental health. I know it's difficult just to be home and not get out and see friends, so definitely email us. We're doing Zoom or phone call counseling, so if you need help, don't hesitate. So we're available as well for that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Let's see what else. Rachel, have you seen any questions that we're missing?
We did have a question. I'm asking the other Rachel. She had a question about obtaining learning materials, and I'm not sure if she means the bookstore. No, we didn't watch that yet. So if Kim is on, maybe we just talk about how her process has changed right now as well. Kim Oakes, are you on?
Oakes on.
Oh, yep. Rachel does mean from the bookstore. Or not. If Stacy or Marty.
I think I saw in the chat that Kim said to go to the bookstore website.
Marty, can they arrange that like a curbside pickup if they have physical textbooks they do need for a course?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
Rachel and Christine, I would also add that if they're taking online classes or even classes that aren't online but that use Blackboard, the learning management system, there are often things within that that instructors will have available for them.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful.
I think we're caught up on questions. Although Zion has a valid question about whether or not there's going to be a culinary class at MCC.
Oh, sorry. We not have a culinary program.
Eleanor is asking, if I ordered my textbooks, will I still get them for my class? I think Kim said she was on to answer that. She might answer in the chat. I believe, I don't know if anybody else can speak to that, but I believe there will be like a pickup for books.
Should can touch on student employment as well, really quick, Christina. I think Kim Salinas is on. I can talk about our student workers that we miss so much.
I am here. Thank you. Yes, we do miss our student workers. We appreciate all the work that they have done and the value that they have provided to the college. So for right now, we are looking towards fall and perhaps having a little bit of changes to our process. So we'll have some more information coming on that. We don't anticipate having many student employee positions available for summer this semester, given our remote work status. We do have some student employees working in tutoring at this time, but beyond that, we don't anticipate too many additional positions being open for summer, but we do look forward to the future when it's safe for our students to be on campus and working with us again.
The Office of Information Technology will also be looking for some student workers as well.
We love our student workers. We can't wait to have you guys back soon.
Yes.
Can I add something real quick? We also, just to throw this out there, we will be looking for tutors for the fall semester. We have tutors set for summer because we do have a reduced amount of needs in the summer, but we will be looking for students for sure that will help us with tutoring in the fall.
Patty, do you want to go over some of the criteria that it takes to be a tutor, like what kind of qualifications you have to have?
Actually, Dean, I believe, is on the call. Can you guys see him? I'm going to let Dean answer those.
Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Dean. I manage the tutoring center. As far as the qualifications for tutors, first of all, I look for people who have done well in classes that we need. Primarily, they are in math and sciences, but most of the time we hire from across the board. So we look for students who have done well, and the students are more likely to get hired are the students that can help in a variety of classes, because it just makes it easier to support students when I have tutors that can support many students as opposed to just one small group of students. So that's what I would speak to, and all the tutors would get trained, so you don't have to feel like you're need to be trained coming in. So we would be training you. We have a certification program that all tutors go through.
Wonderful. And all of the student tutor positions and student employment positions are posted online. You can find it under My MCC and student employment. So if you are interested in being a student worker in the future, we highly encourage you to apply for those positions. So I'm going to turn the tables over to Ashley Battle to talk about our senior visit day that is coming up.
Yes, thank you. So we have a makeup senior visit day. It's going to be virtual. So students will be able to complete their orientation, their placement testing if needed, and they're going to be talking to a counselor as well to select classes. The virtual makeup day will be on May 22nd. I will put the link in the chat so that students can sign up for that if they're looking to do so.
Wonderful. Any more questions, Rachel, that you've been seeing? Seeing a lot of questions from the bookstore.
Yeah, there's a lot of bookstore related questions. Elle did have a question about her accepting her Muskegon promise. Jody, if you can reply back to her. Oh, we're getting one right now about our tuition increase.
Sure, this is Dale Nesbury. Why don't I respond to that?
Thanks, Dr. Nesbury.
So yeah. So there was some information about maybe a month ago that we shared with the community. The board voted for a tuition increase. I think the implication was that we were the only institution in the entire state or the entire world that increased tuition, which is not close to being accurate. The college, along with, at this point, roughly 20 other colleges in the state, at least in the community college sector, did increase tuition. And as you might imagine, it's a difficult issue for many of you, because the more expensive our tuition and fees may be, the tougher it is for you to afford. Now let me touch on a couple of other issues around that. We did freeze our tuition for the summer. We haven't addressed long-term issues, but Kim, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe our tuition remained the same for the fall semester and next year. I'm sorry, not tuition, but our fees did. So indeed, we did increase our tuition, but many other colleges did for the same reason that we have in the past. Our expenses are covered by student tuition and fees generally, state appropriations, and then state but local property taxes. Now, to give you a sense of what we're dealing with because of COVID-19, we're looking at, on a baseline of roughly $10 million coming from the state of Michigan, ordinarily to the college. This next year and a half, we're looking at $1 million reduction this year and $1 million reduction next year. So a tremendous amount of the dollars ordinarily coming to us from the state government is not going to be there. And it's primarily because of the economic issues that we're facing nationally. The state of Michigan is no different. So this year we increased tuition to make up for a little bit of that. So that generates, and Ken, correct me if I'm wrong again, $250,000 in increased revenue for the institution, while we're looking at a $2 million hole in our entire budget. And that is before any other operational increases we'd have on campus. That means, say, personnel increases and so forth. Ken outlined the fact that we cut many of those out of the budget upcoming for this year. We're reducing the budget next year in many other ways. But that's an important issue. But I don't want you to be under the impression that we were alone in this issue and we were doing it on a whim. We were facing some very serious fiscal issues as an institution, and you should be aware of that.
Thank you, Dr. Nesberry.
Sally, can you talk about the library services and how the students can use that as a support for the upcoming summer semester?
I sure can. Also, Carol Briggs-Erickson, our library coordinator, is on here, so she can jump in. But I did put in the chat how to reach out to the library, the databases, the catalog, and we also have many electronic books. So I thought maybe, Carol, you might want to talk about that.
Yes, we do. We do have a lot of books online, of 250,000 books out there, which is almost 4 times the amount of books we have on campus. So we have lots of resources available. We've been finding a lot of textbooks also online in the winter. I don't know if that'll continue into summer, but we've been able to find a lot of really good resources online. And we are helping students with any questions, research, access they need for classes. So send anything to the library at muskegoncc.edu.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carol and Sally. Stephanie, did you want to talk about orientation for new students?
I can. So new students and returning students, new student orientation is a requirement for you to attend classes and to be a student at MCC. And so, as you know, new student orientation used to be on campus, but now that is 100% online. It's all virtual through Zoom. I mean, you can do that on your phone, like probably most of you are now, or via computer, and you'll be able to get that new student orientation experience. So if you need to sign up for orientation, I suggest you to do that as soon as possible, especially if you're starting summer classes, so you can be orientated and know what's happening, how to log into your My MCC, how to log into Blackboard. It shows how to find textbooks. It goes over a plethora of things, financial aid, including in that too. And you can email orientation@muskegoncc.edu. I'll put that in the chat for everyone if you need to schedule orientation, or if you go into your application website. So if you go to muskegoncc.edu, apply, you can log in there and you can schedule new student orientation that way as well too.
Wonderful, thank you. Let's see.
I did get a couple, I know we're towards the end of the wire here. I just want to mention, again, from our care team that cares so much about our students, if you get a call or a text from the care team, it's very important to return those calls or emails. They're really reaching out to make sure to help you. And then, Christina, if we have time really quick, someone asked if we could discuss how to pay tuition or where students can find outstanding bills, because it does seem like we're getting a lot of those questions and it is a little confusing for students. So maybe if we can wrap up with that real quick.
Absolutely. Ken, did you want to take on different payment options and how students can go about doing that?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna ask Mike Council too, because it sounds like how do people know their balance?
Right.
And he might be able to explain that better on when they log into my MCC to their student account portion. So Mike, are you still on?
I'm still here. So yeah, if you're looking for your balance, you can do that through my MCC. You would, on that main page under the self-service menu, you just click on financial information. There's a link to view your account right there. If you need to make a direct payment through that, you can do that through that same link. If you need to set up a payment plan, the link just below that view account link that reads set up and manage your payment plan would be the one that you would follow, and that will kind of walk you through to create a payment plan for the semester.
And then Mike, are those due dates for payments visible right there in my MCC as well?
They are when you click on the view account. That does show you the due date. At this point with summer semester, our due date was this Monday. So if there is a balance, it will show overdue, even if there's a payment plan there, because there is still a balance. But if you do have a payment plan that's in good standing, then that can be disregarded.
Okay. Thank you. I think that's it on my end, Christina.
Okay. So I'm just going to ask the students, like, please continue to put any questions that you have. We're on till 1:30 or longer if we need to. But put any questions that you have in the chat, any concerns that you have that have been on your mind about the upcoming semesters, anything, please continue to feel free to put those in the chat. For now, I'm gonna hand it over to Aaron Richmond to talk about commencement plans.
Yes. There have been a lot of questions about what we're doing with commencement this year. So MCC's 2020 commencement is considered postponed at this time, but we are in the process of finalizing our plans and hope to be able to share those plans with everyone within the next week or two, so very soon. And as soon as we do have an update, this information will be posted on the MCC website, on my MCC, and on all the MCC social media pages. But we are very proud of our 2020 graduates, and we look forward to celebrating their accomplishments and to having more detailed information available for everyone very soon.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. Christina, I got some questions since we have members of the team here, Tanya Lands and Danella, if they could talk about disability services available to our students. Tanya, are you there?
I can say something, Rachel.
Okay.
So all of our services that we have are all available online. That is actually one of the services that was very easy for us to transition to being online. So if students are looking for support in that way and they have documentation of a disability and need accommodations, they can apply for services on our website, and I will put that in the link. I'll put that in the chat in just a second. And then Danella is meeting with students, and so is Tanya virtually. So as soon as a student fills out an application, they will have communication from us in regards to what the next steps are.
Wonderful, thank you. Ellie, did you want to talk about VA veteran benefits right now? We had one question about who handles that and who to contact, but just want to have a few words about who to contact and the information that they need to get in.
Sure thing, no problem. We are still processing all active military benefits and veterans benefits. That also includes benefits for children of veterans if they qualify for a Children of Veterans grant. So we have a lot of information about those programs online at muskegoncc.edu/veterans. I'll put that in the chat momentarily. For any questions from new or returning students, we also encourage you to email veterans@muskegoncc.edu. I had just sent that into the chat. Most cases are a little bit unique. There's a lot of different types of programs, so getting in touch with us directly is usually the best way to solve a problem. So again, that's veterans@muskegoncc.edu, and we have a team of people who are answering that email at this time. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ellie. We have disability support. I did want to touch on athletics a little bit. Did Marty want to talk a little bit about any updates with athletics and any plans that we have in place?
Yeah, thanks, Christina. Yeah, right now we are planning on athletics resuming in the fall. You know, obviously it's a very fluid situation, and the safety of our students is the #1 concern. But as of right now, we are full steam ahead, putting plans in place to hold those events. They may look a little different depending on how this pandemic plays out, but we're ready to go in the fall.
Wonderful. Thank you, Marty. So we have a couple questions coming in about textbooks shipping in the fall. Is Kim on? I know Kim's been answering. Kim is our bookstore manager. She's been answering questions in the chat.
Yeah, Eleanor, I'm sure Kim will get back to you, but because you're starting in the fall, you probably will be getting your books later. Kim's working to get summer textbook orders out right now.
Okay, wonderful. We have a question about special needs classes. Patty, would you like to talk about that?
I just messaged that student back. So we don't have classes that are specific special needs courses, but we do make accommodations for students when they have documentation. So the best thing to do would be to fill out that application on the website. But if you're not comfortable with doing that, you can also email Danella Cooper directly, and I put her email in the chat box already.
Wonderful, thank you. Rachel, do you see anything else right now?
No, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we want to ask our students right now too.
This is Dale Nesbury. Could I put a question out there to the students?
Absolutely.
The question's around, so back in the day when I first started at Muskegon Community College, I would have any number of open forums, and typically I didn't get a lot of students turning out, maybe 10, 15 or so. And over time, had fewer of those and started to meet students in classrooms. I'd come and meet with a class full of students and meet that way. But what I'm seeing here is, and I'll ask Rachel or Christina how many students we have on this call right now. I suspect many more than we've had on the traditional forums or open forums that we've had. I'm loving this. I mean, having real students. The only time I have a chance to really sit next to students is I play in a couple of our student ensembles in an orchestra, sometimes jazz ensemble, sometimes concert band, wind ensemble. So this is great. So if the students could share with me, is this helpful? I know we said we're going to do another one of these before the fall semester, but I'm wondering whether this would be worthwhile doing much more frequently. Would you attend these? Would you attend them online? Would you attend them face-to-face once we're at that point in time? So if we could chat about that, that'd be very helpful for me.
Yeah, and
Thank
kind
you.
of on that same note, yeah, do you want virtual student town halls? Would you like them in physical next time we can? What's the best way to tell you about them? Is it posting on social media? Is it emailing you? Is there some other way to communicate we're not tapping into yet? We'd love to know that from our students.
Absolutely. I think that's a great question to ask. I do know we had about 170 people on this chat at one time when I checked, but I know that that's a mix between faculty, staff, and students. So I really appreciate everybody as a campus community coming together to help our students get some clarity. So Stephanie says she really likes these town meetings a lot. Yes, and Patty is right. We all miss all of our students. We all miss seeing your faces in the hallways. So, but any feedback you can get, that would be great. Okay, Kathy would like more virtual meetings like this more often.
Okay.
So I definitely think that that could happen. I know I have seen other schools who are doing very niched support groups for students in terms of mental health, in terms of just getting together for some fun, just to have conversations. So maybe that's something that we can roll out sometime in the near future. Wonderful.
Look at all this feedback. I love this. Thank you, guys.
Feedback, yeah. Wonderful. So we'll have to plan some more of these in the future.
Oh, Sylvia had a good note, Christina, for us to mention the golf course is open on campus. So if you're going stir crazy in your house, you can head on to University Park Golf Course and social distance and golf.
Somebody suggested having a lunchtime meeting. That's a great idea. I think a faculty member is asking if there's a way they can get to their office to retrieve materials for summer classes. So John, did you want to answer that question?
I was gonna say, I already have the answer. We've been getting that a lot from HR as well. And just reminding people to email Lori Bailey. I don't think I saw Lori was on. If you guys email Lori and need something quick from your office, it's best to have Lori get that for you because the less people going in and out of campus right now reduces our exposure risk significantly, and that's very important. And Lori is amazing and could probably find what you need from your office and arrange a curbside pickup with you.
Yeah, and I think too, to add on to that, Rachel, is just trying to give them a little notice, not just being like, I'm outside waiting for you. Just so they can, make sure they get there and track it down and everything. So trying to give them, some notice that you're coming.
Correct. I have also personally gotten some questions. Sorry, this is more staff related, but I know we have some folks here that are retiring soon and are eager to clean out their offices. As we have more regular administration on campus in June, we will be sending out we will be sending you a communication with instructions and availability to clean out your office. So if you can just hang tight for the rest of this month, we'll have more information for you soon.
Yep. So, sorry, we're getting lots of questions in right now. But I really appreciate everybody kind of coming together in here from students, faculty, and staff so that we can support our students and making sure they're getting the correct information and a little bit more clarity in the upcoming semester. And so, but if you ever have any questions, please refer to my MCC and the website for the contact information. Hopefully, some of the people in the chat who have provided their contact information will be of help in the future.
And this is being recorded, and I believe we should be able to post that afterwards, right, Christina?
Yes. So it's being recorded, and then we will be able to post it out on my MCC. So you can also refer to this later for any answers that you need and as a reference for the future. So Melanie's asking, what is going to happen with the theater program this fall? I think Sheila was on this call. Does Sheila want to take that if she's still here?
Let's say I thought I saw Tom too.
Sheila or Tom? Yes, no, maybe so.
If they're not here, I can.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
So theater is one of the areas we've talked with specifically because we have theater classes, and then we have our performances, which we're very proud of, and we're very proud of our theater program. We're still talking and trying to make plans to continue some type of performance work for students that still keeps us compliant with all of the social distancing measures and keeps everybody healthy. So that's sort of a stay tuned, and we'll see how we can work things.
Wonderful. So on a related note to that, Kelly, what about extracurriculars? So student clubs and organizations. What's kind of happening with those right now?
Well, I can't speak for student club. Student club is not my area, but I can surmise. I can just knowing how things are unfolding. We're behind the decisions of the governor and the health experts. So we watch the data and we try to make the best decisions given what's happening out there in the environment. So I think my prediction is that we will unfold campus and we will gradually repopulate campus the same way we folded it up in winter semester when we had to leave. We had a fairly short window of time that we had to move all classes and all activities to remote, and then but we could still do a few things on campus. Then we had to move everybody off campus and sort of button it up. I think it'll unroll the same way, but I do encourage the activities and the clubs and the groups to continue in a virtual way, just like we're doing with Zoom meetings. Because I think that's really important to not lose the connections and the momentum of having peers and friends in college that are like-minded and want to do things together.
Wonderful. Diana Casey says that the Geo Club is doing online and virtual activities. So that is a great way to still stay connected. John, did you want to say something?
Christina, I think there's a free Zoom service. Am I correct that students could use and access and continue with the interacting with each other virtually? Is there? I just don't know the address, but I'm thinking that Ken, perhaps I know you use some of those services. Could you share that?
I think they were still offering Zoom, was still offering it free to anyone to create an account. The only limitation is your Zoom meetings are limited to 40 minutes in length. So that would be for the free service. If you needed something in addition, it'd be the paid service. But yeah, if you just go to the Zoom website, and you don't have an account to participate in meetings, but if you want to schedule your own meetings, that's when you need to create an account and download the app and such. So, but yeah, that's all available on their website.
Thanks.
I can add something real quick about clubs too. So anybody that's already in a club and any advisors out there, if you get in contact with your advisor, or if you want to just email us directly, I put the email address in the chat, and we can set up a Zoom link for your club if you would like to have a virtual meeting. And if you are new and you're interested in starting a new club, please check out the club page, which Sally added the club page to the chat. And we're excited to try to help you get started or keep moving forward as well. Just get in touch with us so that we can help you.
We had a good question about how the college is disinfecting and cleaning the campus as we have people coming in and as we're going out. So I'm not sure who we have.
I can cover that.
Okay.
Good afternoon. This is David with Physical Plant. What we're doing is we started just about before the whole pandemic shutdown of the campus and operation suspension. We're doing several things. We use product right now and currently use that's a disinfectant. To give you an idea, in the past year, we applied over 5,888 gallons of disinfectant on campus as we clean, and that's for every shift. for every area that's required to be serviced during that period of time. We also use science behind what we do, and what we use is chlorine dioxide. It's a chemical that's been used for over 25 years in industry, also the federal government. It's rated for many things. In 2001, it was actually used when they had anthrax problems and issues in Washington, D.C. It's a safe product. It's the safest product that's out there. In fact, if you look at the SDS for ratings for this, it has zeros for everything for PPE and then also for safety. So it is the best product you can use. It also doesn't affect anyone who has upper respiratory issues or COPD, which is a phenomenal thing. As soon as we knew that we were having an issue that was working its way across the country, we started using this. And this product is actually an immediate use product. So as soon as you apply it, you can actually reuse the space within 10 to 12 minutes. But we don't do that. We give a little bit of time, so this way when we're going through. And you probably have seen things where you'll see school districts using something that looks like a green and black applicator. That's what we have in stock right now, and we're actually using that as we're working through campus. We've been off for a bit. We've been doing, we'll call it minimal maintenance, as in being on campus, making sure we're safe and working our way through campus to make sure that everything's ready for when classes restart. I am pleased to say that custodial staff is being onboarded again as of this past Monday and started working through the campus, doing detailed deep cleaning, because you have to disinfect. To do that, you have to go through systematically through the campus, get all debris up in dirt, and then actually do that application again with chlorine dioxide. And I'm happy to report we've got almost, I think it's 90,000 square foot of the campus already covered right now, but we have a lot of work to do to get ready. So that's one of the things is when Rachel was mentioning people accessing campus, we didn't know where people are at, so we can plan for that, not be in their way, but then we also circle back behind them and then treat areas. And we've been doing that since the 18th of March. So when you might get your grades in or paperwork that's being sent, or you're sending to campus, or we have any type of information, any mailings that come in, we're treating that come in between boxes, cartons, pallets, even letters. So we don't want to receive anything as in mail and anything else that might be traveling with it, because there's a lot of reports of how long things can be on products, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to risk our faculty, our staff, and most of all our community, which is you, the student. We want to make sure that we're supportive, but we're also providing a safe environment. I am happy to report is because we use the product, we've been using the product on this campus since late October, early November of 18, that we've been prepared for this, but it gets very hard to get items in, and we've done a fabulous job. And I cannot say that in other way is all the departments working together to make sure we have great communication, great support, getting items in so we're prepared for you to be in. But we have a lot of work to do. That's what we have started in the past several weeks after getting items in, is to be ready and be prepared. But again, we have a lot of work, and we need your help to do that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dave. So I'm going to put up a last call for questions. So if you have any other burning questions that you need us or want us to ask, please put them in the chat box. So any other things that you're seeing, Rachel?
I don't think so. Yeah. So again, to add on, if anybody new came in, we've just been talking about as campus reopens, just a reminder, things are going to physically look different. You're going to want to bring your own water bottle because drinking fountains are going to be wrapped right now. A lot of the considerations about reopening, like David just said, this is pretty extensive disinfecting behind classes. So students think about, just sitting in a room, all the things you're touching that need to be wiped down behind you, light switches, lectures, all that kind of things. Food service will not be available outside of the vending this summer. So if you go to the Brooksider for lunch, make sure you pack your lunch or don't eat on campus. All these kinds of things to kind of rethink as we return to campus soon.
Yep, so things are going to be looking a little bit different. But okay, well, I just want to take this time to thank everybody for coming to this meeting, faculty, students, and staff. We will be doing another one of these soon to give a little bit closer clarity into what will be happening for the fall semester. But until then, please don't hesitate to reach out to your instructors, to the staff members at the college. You can also send your questions through social media. So I'm on the back end of everything, and I make sure I try to get to those quickly and direct you to the right person and contact people on campus. So Dr. Nesberry, did you want to kind of close this out and have some closing statements?
Thank you. Just to share again, stay well and stay safe. These are unusual times for us, and we need you to do everything you can to make sure that you're safe and your family's safe. And thank you to the students who participated. I, again, being a faculty member for 15 years myself, and having a chance to have conversations and interact with students, and that's what drives me. So thank you for participating. Thanks to Rachel and Christina, our host, for doing this. So thank you very much, and we'll see you around campus, virtually if nothing else at this point.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Nesberry. It was good to see everybody and see some faces that we haven't seen in a while, including our students. So I'll leave it with, have a good rest of your week, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Bye.